Hello everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars 2015 Force Awakens set. This is another one I got for Christmas and it is a set I've been wanting for so long. It's the 75103 First Order Transporter, 792 pieces released for £80. Okay, let's start with the basics. This is no pretty set. This is no Kylo Ren shuttle. This is no Slave One. This is nothing elegant. This is nothing eye-catching. It's utilitarian. But what people don't understand, and they're very quick to judge this thing, is Star Wars is utilitarian. The real world is utilitarian. This is a Star Wars D-Day landing craft. It's an assault ship. It's a troop transport. No, it might not be as kick-ass and as flashy as the LA-AT gunship, but for that it gets my respect. This thing's brave because it doesn't look eye-catching to a kid, but yet it's packed, it's ram-packed with features, and I'm going to show you everything this thing can do. First of all, one thing to notice is it's very, very big. It's very sizable. That's one thing that I did notice when I built this thing. It's pretty big. Also, the building technique is surprisingly predictable. When I was putting this thing together, I pretty much knew where it was going to go. All of the front is pretty much just brick on brick construction. We do have a lot of studs on the side. Lots of little mini assemblies. This assembly here on the back was probably my favourite one to assemble. You have these little wheels below here for the terrain scanners. I do love the grills. If you look there, you can see all the nice grills. But there is a big Technic skeleton you build on the back here for the engines. These engine pods here were just so cool to put together, and I really love their formation. You can even see some of the exposed Technic skeleton on the back here. That is a bit unfortunate, but it's okay. I mean, these engines just look so good that I think that's acceptable there. You also, on the front here, on the back, sorry, you have these drag fins. These can come out. There's two on either side, which is very, very nice, a nice little detail, and when you put them closed, it again just looks so cool. Getting to the basics on the top now, of course, we have the spring missiles. Now, I don't really like how they were integrated in this set, but it makes sense. I'm going to tell you why. Now, on the actual transport, there are two humps either side here where the spring missiles are located. They are supposed to be, I believe, the shield generators on the top. I am going to change these. It's probably the only thing I'm going to change. The tails were obviously sticking out. You press the tail and the thing fires out. We all know how that works now. But yeah, where else are they supposed to go on this ship? Like, where else are they supposed to put the spring missiles, right? They're supposed to go here, because it's the only place they can go. So I am happy that LEGO has done that there. I will remove it, but as part of the model, it's perfectly acceptable. Also, we have a little floodlight on the front here, nothing too fancy there. And we have a separate turret on the back. Now, this turret is mannable. It's not like an automatic one, it's manned by a trooper, and it's on a little turntable here. I actually like the way this looks, the little stud shooters. Of course, you have two stud shooters, you can fire those out there. Yeah, I'm not going to change this. I'm going to show you a feature with this hatch. It's really, really cool, and it's definitely the best feature of the set. One thing you may have noticed when I flip this round is that the sides are almost symmetrical, besides this knob. And, well, that is a feature. It's part of the Technic skeleton in the back here, and when you rotate it, ta-da! He's a little trooper that comes up from just some Technic lift arms. He comes up and he can man the turret now. You can obviously put that there. I think this looks a little bit better when it's not fully exposed, but it works, and this is easily the best feature of the set. He's completely hidden, and then he's not. It looks great, and I really like the way this turned out. Just to show you what the seat looks like, it's just a little stickered console, and he just sits on these red Technic bricks here. Also, just to quickly point out, this entire craft is on wheels. The entire thing's on wheels, so it's very, very easy for an adult or a kid who, I guess, particularly for a kid who wants to roll this around on the floor. It's very, very easy, flipping it on the underside. just lets you see the wheels here. This is this big long Technic axle here is a feature, obviously I'm going to show you later, but you can see the wheels there. Going around back, of course, I've already shown you the engines, but there is this little exposed Technic element here, and if you pull that, it's going to change something on the front. The ramp comes down. It's a really snappy feature. All you got to do is push the ramp up, and then you pull it from the back, and it drops down again. It's really simple. It's really easy to use, and it does give you a really good look once the main boarding ramp's down. Of course, as human beings, we can just lift off the top. Now, it is really easy to do. It's just with 2 studs on the back there, you can see, attaches the main roof, and of course for us human beings this is a lot easier. Now you can fit a lot of troops in here. I think you can get like 7, 8. I mean, like you can get quite a few. Obviously I haven't stacked them very well. I've just sort of thrown 3 figures in there, but it is really well designed. It's a great troop compartment and a lot more successful than a lot of other, quote, troop transports that LEGO makes. Clearing the figures out, you can see the detail is quite basic. There are some weapon clips stored on the side here. You can see the weapon clips. That is obviously for your troopers, and that is a very nice addition. Also, there is a single sticker at the back there, which I think is really unnecessary. Now, this set does a really good job with the stickers. There are only 4 stickers in the set, but I think that one we could have done without. But hey ho, it looks pretty good. We do of course also have a whole big bank of floodlights here, which I think is really cool as well. We have these exterior ones, which you've obviously seen before from the outside. Also on the ramp, I forgot to mention, there are these simulated hydraulics. Now of course you can see they're not actually hydraulics, but when you do have the roof on, they do look pretty realistic as hydraulics, which I think looks pretty cool, and I like the realism there. Finally, we're going to get to the cockpit, the last thing I haven't shown you. Now, it is just this big block. Very accurate, but it is just this big block that you assemble last on the build. Now, they do use a sticker for the front here. I think this is really necessary. If they just used a black tile, you wouldn't get sort of the grey outline for the window frame. So I think this is 100% a necessary sticker, and I'm happy that they use this. There is quite an interesting roof as well. I don't know where this piece is from, but it is you're very nicely shaped there. And you have a ratcheted back door where you can open the cockpit. Of course, now opening the cockpit, we can see it's on a slider. It's on a slider, and the figure will only just fit. You can see just use a stickered console here, and he will stand in there. Standing a stormtrooper on, you can now see he will just slide, just barely slide in there for the cockpit, but it is a success. It's a success overall because he will go in there. I just want to point out, of course you've probably noticed, this set's quite stubby and short. If you actually see the transport in Force Awakens, or I think it briefly appears in Last Jedi, definitely Rise of Skywalker, you can see that it should probably be longer. Now, the retail price for this set was £80. That's very fair for what we get here. LEGO's never going to release something like this for 80 quid ever again. If they made it longer, it really needs to be like another one of these big slabs longer. If they did that, it would just jack up the price so much. And as a LEGO edition, I mean, this is still really sizable. I'm very happy with the size here. It doesn't, like, when you have it on a shelf or when you just build it, it doesn't noticeably look short. And I think only when we actually see it on screen, it's like, oh, the LEGO model's a bit short than it should be. I think it's absolutely fine. You know, I have no issue with that at all. Kicking our minifigs off with the star figure of this set, and one of my favourite Star Wars minifigures of all time. This is Captain Phasma. Now, Captain Phasma is exclusive to this set. Yes, she was released in the famously atrocious First Order ATST, but of course, if you didn't know, between Force Awakens and Last Jedi, they did change the helmet printing. The helmet printing on the Last Jedi version is a lot finer than this, so this figure is exclusive and she is wonderful. Now, the entire minifigure, besides the head and hands, are all in matte silver, and if you just look, this figure is just beautiful. I love all of the details, even the blasters in matte silver there. Of course, the hands are in dark bluish grey. Now, in terms of the printing, this is just a First Order Stormtrooper in matte silver. The printing for the helmet, however, is exclusive for Captain Phasma. The printing, you see all these little fine lines going up here. Yeah, they're only on Phasma, and they do look beautiful when they catch the light there. Of course, she does also have this cloth cape. Now, with 2015, this was the awful hard cloth, so it doesn't really drape over her as well as I would like to, but it is still fine, and it does look very, very clean. Moving the cloak and the helmet, we can see firstly the back printing. Again, it's just your First Order Stormtrooper back printing, and the head is pure black. Now, LEGO did this with the Mandalorian. They do this with any minifigure that they don't really know what they look like. In Star Wars lore, we still don't really know what Captain Phasma looks like. This is absolutely fine. LEGO didn't know. This was obviously before Force Awakens even came out, before it was before any sort of trailer footage was even out, so they obviously had no clue, and I think a black head here is perfectly acceptable. Now, there are 2 Stormtroopers and 2 Flame Troopers in this set, and they are absolutely part by part, print by print identical, so I'm not going to show you both of each. This is just your classic standard Force Awakens First Order Stormtrooper. He is a very cool figure. Now, you can see the printing there is just pretty much generic for your Stormtrooper, just comes with a medium blaster on the back. You can just see that classic Stormtrooper back printing, and his helmet there. Of course, it is, I guess, not exclusive. This minifigure is not exclusive, but for Force Awakens he certainly is, with the, again, that little helmet print there is different. Course, removing the helmet, surprise surprise, angry clone. Heading into the First Order Flame Trooper now. These guys are so cool. They do have custom molded and printed helmets for them. This figure is not exclusive, but this was his exclusive debut. He's then later re-released in Poe Dameron's blue and grey T70. He's also been re-released in a battle pack, and I think a couple of other sets as well. So he's not exclusive, but he does have, he just has wonderful details going around him. He has a brick-built backpack used with some cylinder pieces and 1x3 bars, and I think it looks pretty respectable. I don't really like how it's a transparent piece that connects it, but it's okay. Removing his elongated blaster and backpack, we can see more of that First Order Flame Trooper exclusive torso and leg print. It does look really nice. Again, not an exclusive minifigure, but this print is exclusive for the First Order Flame Trooper, and it looks really nice. Again, you can see the back printing. LEGO did not need to include this, of course, with the backpack, but it is a very nice addition. Again, angry clone. What did we expect? This is a nameless, faceless, random resistance trooper. I don't really know why this guy's in the set. I mean, LEGO does often like to have a few minifigs from the opposing side in to sort of, I guess, combat the set out. In terms of the elements that make up this guy, nothing is exclusive, but the combination of them does make him exclusive. I guess the best part about him is the torso print. Now, this torso print was reused later on the Resistance Trooper Battle Pack. His blaster is gunmetal grey, which is really nice, I guess. And he just has a generic LEGO, random LEGO head. It's nothing exclusive. You can see on the back side more of the printing, and he doesn't have an alternate face, so I won't show you that. This guy's pretty much just a waste of space. This is the female version. Now, she does have, I think, a much nicer torso print, and it actually is exclusive, this torso print. I do also really like the olive green legs that they've given her, which are really, really nice. And again, they do come with, both of these come with gunmetal grey blasters. There's the back print, we can see they're very, very nice, and this figure again does not have an alternate face, so I won't show you. So, final thoughts. What is there negative to say about this set? I want you to answer honestly. What is there negative to say about this set? And I'm going to spend a little while talking about this now. This is successful in every category. It's still a great display piece. It still has a bunch of features that are all incredibly disguised. There's no, like, colours that you don't really want to see. There's a little bit of tan here and a little around the back, but you know, there is, and obviously when you take the roof off there is a little bit of white here, but there's nothing that you really don't want to see. All of the features are very good, and the figures are fantastic. All of these figures are fantastic. Shame about the Rebel Troopers. I think we could have had 2 more Stormtroopers instead of this, but LEGO never does something like this anyway. LEGO's never going to give you all of these troopers to go inside one ship. They're never going to do that. You can fit a bunch of figures on the inside. The price at the time was fair. If you do want this set now, it's going to run you about $150. It's gonna run, most sellers on eBay are charging $150 for this thing. Slightly more, slightly less. Now, I got mine for such a good deal. I got mine for 102. 102 for Christmas on an eBay auction. That is December 2022, 102, which was, I was psyched. So yeah, you can get a good deal if you look for this thing, but it's definitely not a waste of money. This is my second favourite Force Awakens set, and you know how much I love the Wave 1 Force Awakens sets. As a rating out of 10, what do you think this thing gets? Of course it's a 10 out of 10. It excels at everything. There's no drawbacks at all. Yes, it's slightly shorter than it should be, but that is of course for budgeting reasons. LEGO can't make everything minifig scale. If everything was minifig scale, then this thing would be like at least retail price like 140, which is like way too much for this thing. In terms of boring LEGO Star Wars builds, of course referring to the colour, I think that this is easily one of the best, and I love the colour palette of like a very slight hint of trans orange and the trans blue at the back. Yeah, this thing's brilliant. Thanks all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. What do you think about the Wave 1 Force Awakens sets? I'm gonna slow them all. It's gonna be so cool. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry that it's a bit longer. I do want to take longer with these bigger sets, obviously, because I have more things to say about them. This isn't going to be an obnoxiously long video, though. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.